Welcome, everybody, to Sunday night's frequency meditation. I hope we all had an amazing week so far. And tonight we're going to step into something very different from the most recent weeks. The most recent weeks we've been quite architectural in our exploration. And tonight we're going to go into what is called the warmth of belonging. So this focus is not on geometry. It's not on the mechanics of movement. It's not about your spheres, your spine, any of that. All the stuff that we have been bringing to the surface through awareness. But tonight we're going to do something different because we always like to do things differently. We're going to do something deeply human and nourishing. So we're entering into the warmth of belonging. Belonging is the most natural state of your pure blueprint. It is the certainty that you're already withheld within the architecture of life. It is not something you work for, not something you perform, not something you prove. It is the truth that was here before any distortion, before culture or belief layered their stories upon your value system. So it's a space where confidence arises naturally and where trust is effortless and where we always feel safe. And feeling safe is incredibly important to humans. I always say, if someone doesn't feel safe, it's impossible to heal. Too many guards up, defenses, distortions. So this evening, the transmission will bring you directly into that field of that warmth of belonging, that safety, that security, so that you really experience belonging not as an idea, but as a lived frequency. And with that, once we have go through our transmitting it, it's something that you can access at any time. When we look across history, even masters have pointed here. Christ revealed that the kingdom was within. Buddha taught that the middle way was a steady resonance beneath the extremes. Rumi sang of the field beyond right and wrong, where everything is included. Tesla declared that once you understand energy, frequency, and vibration, you understand the secrets of the universe. And then finally, David Bohm spoke of the implicate order we have discussed in the 2 weeks, this past weeks, where all things enfolded into all things. So all of the masters, if you like, the people who have contributed to humanity, was really describing the same reality, that belonging is already encoded into the fabric of existence. So you're already written into the design. And this session will let you feel that in the most direct way possible. So let's just take a breath in right now. For those of you who are new to the Sunday evening frequencies, it's always a different topic. I'll do a little discussion but I'm doing much more as we're discussing. I'm also organizing the field. So whatever you hear tonight, you're going to be able to absorb it with more clarity, less filters. So we start always with a little bit of a talk on it, with a back hat going on, and then we go into the meditation. And in the meditation, as time has gone on, there's less talking, although I do talk a lot. There's less talking because the transmissions, and in the pause, that's where you're actually getting the knowledge directly from within. So as we begin, we take another deep breath in, and simply just let yourself arrive here in this moment. There's only one moment. And there's no need to manipulate, no need to adjust, achieve, fit in. You're here. And as you recognize that, the field begins to stabilize around you. Just the mere awareness from your side has a consequence. My transmission is opening and aligns your awareness to the pure blueprint, that undistorted architecture beneath every distortion. And here, belonging to not something fragile or conditional, fear of being excluded, is the absolute certainty of coherence. Noticing your spine right now, all 33 vertebrae, even more importantly, the space between the vertebrae, that stillness. And then let's take a deep breath in, coming to the center of our sphere, that center point in our brain. Just notice the left side of the brain, the right side of the brain, and how the two interact, creating a movement for you in synchronicity, perfect alignment. And from there, just travel down your spine, noticing the 33 vertebrae, the space between the vertebrae. Maybe you notice something appears in the spine for you, a message, a code, a system. And then just drop right into the core of the earth where there's these nourishing frequencies. They've been around billions of years. We're in the same density, so we have access to it. Reversing up, bringing these frequencies right up through your spine, all through the vertebrae, filling your whole body with these cleansing frequencies, arriving back at the center of our sphere. And we just stay here right now. Focus on the spine. The spine is the apparatus that lets us embody any technologies we may receive when we're exploring. And that's what we want to do here. We want to bring it into density. We want to be able to manifest here, but with certainty, with a structure, being in the system. Not on the description, a flowery description of if you have a vision board and you put a yacht there or a beautiful person, they'll appear. There's no science in that. Let's take another breath in right now. And I'm a big believer and appreciative of any work that's being presented forward to help humans, whether with the day-to-day life, managing, or being able to find different locations in space and time that has more clarity. So I'm not putting anything down. But like everything in life, there are levels of precision. So taking another breath in. And what we do here is we try to be as precise as possible because that's what was shown to us through the architecture. So we're not fixing versions of ourselves here. Instead, we find that version of you, and there's infinite versions, but only one can be activated. We find that version of you. You find that version of you. And you disconnect from the old version. And you start creating yourself here in physical form. You're a higher order, a higher rule set, a clearer rule set. So coming back, to this belonging, the warmth of belonging, perhaps you've noticed that what you've often searched for outside, whether it's safety, recognition, inclusion, it actually was never external. It was always available at your center, at your center of your sphere, hidden in plain sight beneath the blur of old patterns. And how powerful we are that the moment awareness rests there, that illusion of separation dissolves. This is the warmth of belonging. The sudden realization is that you've always been included. It's impossible to fall outside of life's design because you are part of its very code. Just taking a breath in and really let that sink in for you, settle here. You're part of the code, you're part of the system. How can you not belong? And science affirms what the mystics knew long before. Sheldrake's research, I think his name is Robert Sheldrake, or I think it's Robert, I'll look it up, Sheldrake, research into what he calls morphic resonance. And what that just basically means, that patterns of behavior and form, they repeat across species and time through these invisible fields of connection. David Bohm's implicate order describes a universe where everything is enfolded into everything else, with nothing ever truly separate. I watched a great documentary on mushrooms, fungi, I think it's called. It's on Netflix. Fabulous Fungi. And it shows how that is mushrooms, the oldest species on the planet, how they form a network all around the world beneath the surface, connecting absolutely everything. Everything belongs. Everything is included. And in taking a breath in, and as you receive these transmissions, you're not merely understanding the ideas. You get to experience them. So notice how you're feeling. Noticing that warmth. It's not imagination, it's resonance. It's coherence expressing itself in your nervous system. As the distortions release and the body entrains to this truth, it's when you hear someone speak, you're not aware of the subject matter, but for some reason it resonates. There's a truth to it, a belonging. So let's maybe look at it from a different perspective. As we're taking a nice deep breath in, noticing us in our body, everywhere where the skin stops and we work inwards, all our inner workings. That's our environment. We have total authority over that environment. And then if you just quickly open your eyes and look around you, that's another environment, an external environment, which, by the way, we have total authority over. If you stabilize in our inner environment. But if we're not stable, if we're not coherent within, it's kind of an unreasonable request to think that we can stabilize the environment outside. Because that environment outside, it's not just you. There are other perspectives at play as well. So as we take a deep breath in, we just focus on our inner world right now, or everything within the body. Let's just look at it this way: exclusion, rejection, and doubts. Although the mind might suggest it, they're never ultimate truths. They are positional distortions. So when awareness drifts away from the center of your sphere, you start interpreting reality from a corridor of separation. And equally, when awareness returns to our center, belonging is immediately experienced. And that's because belonging is inseparable from who you are. It cannot be given or taken. It can only be referenced or overlooked. And so tonight, we're bringing that awareness for you. We're embodying this to ensure that you reference it and not overlook it. Our buddy Christ revealed that the kingdom was never elsewhere. It was never outside, but always within. Buddha showed that peace emerges from resting in the middle resonance beneath all extremes. And I can go on. You can go on. You can do research. But there's many great men and women, great science, that also supports this in their work. So in this moment, you're experiencing their truths converging. Belonging is the energy that cannot fracture. It's that vibration that always steadies. It's always the frequency, always holds. So let's bring these masters, if you like, their timeless frequency into present coherence. So then confidence It ceases to be a performance. It's no longer a mask or a strategy. Confident becomes a simple recognition that when you belong, you do not need external proof. You're unshaken because your position is secure. That warmth of belonging holds you steady in every interaction, every choice, every breath. And this confidence, it has no edge, no aggression. It's quiet, certain, deeply reassuring. It has that authority, but wrapped in humility. That's an interesting one to observe, by the way, when things come in for you, or when you are exploring expansions. Connect to the feeling. How it makes you feel. Is there a very precise, decisive thought process? It has great authority. So much so you don't have the need to prove to anyone. There's no desire to do a TED Talk or be on Gaia or anything else. Because you know it's embodied in you. Taking another breath in. For some of you, can you see how now even this concept of belonging is part of your field now? It's in your field. It's not such a foreign thing. There's not that separateness anymore. So another breath in. And belonging is permanent. Cannot fracture under rejection or collapse under misunderstanding. And this is because the architecture of your pure blueprint is immune to distortion. What changes is only your point of reference. So let's bring you back into that blueprint. So you live from the permanence of belonging. So if this is something you would like, this is something that you're signing off on, can never override you. I would never want to override your wishes. But if it's something that you would like to live from the permanence of belonging, then just take a deep breath in right now. Come to your sphere. Notice right side, left side, you in the middle of your sphere. And then expand out arm's length around you, spherically, up, down, sideways, front, back. It's your frequency field. And just notice that warmth of belonging, how it now fuses across your whole field. Fuses into the field. As the warmth expands, feel how it radiates beyond you, beyond your frequency field. Further still into the collective. Again, just as Sheldrake's morphic resonance reveals patterns are contagious across time and species. So your belonging amplifies into the greater human architecture. Just another note on that. We're multidimensional. What we're observing here through our filters in density, well, it's an amazing act. It's the best show in town. But there are other shows going on at the same time that can't be sensed through the five senses. That's what we have filters for. All filters aren't bad, by the way. We need filters to stay here. So this belonging of yours that amplifies into the greater human architecture, the collective, by embodying it, you give others permission to reference their own. And this is how belonging spreads. And not by instruction, not by telling someone, but by resonance. And you'll find as you go, as we take a breath in, just noticing ourselves here right now, that's how kind of the pattern works across the board. You can't transmit something you don't have yourself. You don't have that coherence or a certain level of coherence. You can't expect to have access to higher rule sets. It's incompatible. And that's why what we do here is all about coming into our center, letting that awareness come up. What is not coherent? Exercising our free will and disconnecting from it. Or maybe we find something that we need to bring into our field to be more coherent. And it's a result of that that gives us access to other realms. And it's that access that lets us transmit to others. So it's the same thing here. As our warmth expands, by embodying it, others take notice, and it's not their mind, it's their spirit takes notice. We give their spirit permission, remembering, oh, this is how it works. Perhaps notice how confidence feels different now. It's steady, it's warm, it's luminous. Because you become the lighthouse. And not through effort or projection, but by simply remaining lit. The storm can surge, yet your light remains. And this is the warmth of belonging expressed as presence. The masters live from this frequency. And now, as we breathe in again, you're now anchoring it in real time. And you'll find, as you rest in this place now, you'll start to notice how life itself begins to rearrange. Where once there was resistance, there's now flow. It's a good thing to listen to this meditation again with in mind of what on this journey you resist. And bring this meditation into it. You'll see how those resistances become part of the flow. What once felt complicated, all of a sudden it becomes quite simple. What once weighed heavy, well, now it carries no density. This is when I say what we do here is experiential. You'll experience these things. Not about the mind trying to convince yourself or learn it. And so what happens here is that belonging removes resistance. I feel like it's a lubricant of coherence. When you truly know you belong, decisions clarify, relationships harmonize. Even your health steadies. Your wealth aligns. Because life starts moving in rhythm with you. And why is that? Because you're no longer separate from its design. We demanded free will, and we have it. Many people have taken that privilege. To be an orphan and create their own systems, their own designs. I wouldn't advise it. It's far more efficient to just let life move in a rhythm with you. So as mentioned earlier, really every tradition has carried this truth. Whether it's Zen masters with their paradoxes, Sufi poets with their devotion, mystiques with their silence, even physicists with their equations, pointed to belonging as the essence of coherence. So tonight, you gave yourself that permission slip. You can feel it directly, not as an abstraction, but as reality. And this is the warmth of belonging. It's who you are. It's where you are. And now, with one last breath in, it's forever here. And I'll leave you here. Stay in this space with your timeless self. Sign off in your own time. You can listen to this again. You can even listen to it with the volume very low, and you'll feel the frequencies. You'll feel that warmth of belonging, that fear of separation. You'll notice it's just not there. And with that, I'll see you all next Sunday night. I hope you have a really beautiful week ahead.